It is so hard being a United fan trying to be positive at the moment, isn't it? Like I did this morning, full-on positive show, Manchester United moving forward, only to be shot down by the media again. If it's not the Athletic reporting on under-13s blowing socks off Everton players, to players actually determine how the manager's career is going to go forward, with the hierarchy talking to Manchester United players to check on it. Look, we're going to get into that story as the top one and the talks that have gone on and the whole look on Amorim from Manchester United from within. That is our top story this evening. We've also got updates on Joshua Zirkzee, Kobbie Mainoo, another here we go for a 17-year-old from Fabrizio Romano, 10 million to play in the Saudi Pro League. And yeah, we will touch on that academy story from Laurie Whitwell and the Athletic, alongside Manchester United redesigning the academy at Carrington to match the first team's academy. What's going on right now? I've got you fully covered for Manchester United news here on Forever United TV. We are live. Get into the live chat, people. Talk to me and give me your opinions on all of these subjects. And yes, we are going to start with that story from earlier on from Rob Dawson from ESPN regarding Manchester United and the whole look at Ruben Amorim, how they have been convinced and what has happened at Manchester United over the last couple of weeks. We've had the negatives after that bad result against Brentford. We've moved forward. We got the win against Sunderland. And it just feels to me like it's easier to talk on the positive when United have got a win. Of course, it naturally comes that way, doesn't it? But the story from Rob Dawson of ESPN is one that has really intrigued me. I'm not sure if I'm happy with it or not. And now, this, I'm just going to read it out. And give you everything on this. Manchester United's leadership believes the squad fully supports head coach Ruben Amorim following encouraging discussions between players and club officials. The team's 2-0 victory against Sunderland at Old Trafford on Saturday has alleviated pressure on Amorim. Look, we don't need to be speaking to players. The story also goes on to say these weren't arranged meetings with the hierarchy like Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox speaking to certain players. There's other stories saying here that they have been speaking to the leadership group that Manchester United have got. Now, we all know who's involved in that leadership group, and there are a lot of players in there that Manchester United fans really don't like and think should be out of the football club. So why should they be determining what happens to a manager before they actually leave the football club? You could run with that story, but look, it is what it is at the moment. It seems to be an open book, Manchester United, and anyone can have their say on it. We've talked about player influence plenty of times. We don't like it at this football club. Look, I can look at this story and go, I'm worried about that. And there's a bit of me that is, because if you read in between the lines of it, it actually says that the hierarchy at Manchester United, the bosses, have spoken to players and members of Manchester United's leadership group. Now, in that leadership group is a Bruno Fernandes, who the fan base is arguing over at the moment, whether he should stay, should go, whether he should have been sold in the summer. Harry Maguire, who we're going to debate today, actually. Again, more news about his contract possibly being extended. That keeps changing all the time, that story. Diogo Dalot is another one. And you're looking at players here that you scratch your head and you go, these are players that are going to be out in the summer. Hopefully, be out in the summer. That are not good enough for Manchester United when you look at it. And they're determining whether or not Ruben Amorim stays. Look, it's not their say, and they're not going to have the final say. We're not that badly run football club. I hope not anyway. But still, when you look at that situation, when you look at speaking to them leadership group players, why should they have more of a say than anyone else in this squad? I hate that leadership group idea, by the way. I think it adds an element of hierarchy to the team. Every single player in that team is the same level. You all represent Manchester United. Yes, there's more experienced players that you would levitate to naturally because they are more experienced and they should take control of that naturally. Not be given a title, not be given a leadership group role at Manchester United just because they've been there a certain amount of years. Yeah, you've been there a certain amount of years. Well, Man United have failed. So I hate the idea, for one, of that leadership group at Manchester United. I think it divides the squad. I don't like the idea that Bruno will get more of a say, Dalot will get more of a say, Maguire, Martinez and Mazraoui. Mazraoui's been here 2 minutes. Why is he in that group? I understand he's one of the eldest players in the squad right now because we've got a young squad, but honestly, I don't get that, and I don't get the idea of it. So apparently Omar Barada, they weren't arranged meetings and they have generally just walked around and chatted and got a real good positive vibe back, which is great news for Ruben Amorim and us for a bit of stability. Obviously, results will determine what happens with Ruben anyway, and this story could be looked at with a complete, well, you could look at this story and think it's not even that important, really, when you break it down. I think the whole problem with this, for me, is, again, it's like, surely they don't need to speak to these players. They need to speak to themselves. Like, they need to look at what's happening on the pitch. Never mind the actual group. And there's a bit of me, and I've always had this, and I've always said this, and I've always said that, do you know what, like, there needs to be an understanding at Carrington. There needs to be a togetherness within, and I get that, and it kind of sounds like I'm going back on myself on what I said before. But look, you can look at them as saying, like, they're the experienced players, the older players. Look, I just don't like the idea of it. I don't want to pick any player out and say he shouldn't be in that group. I just don't want to be picking players to be in that group. Let it happen naturally. I don't think there needs to be any order of play in at Manchester United behind the scenes. I really don't. And I look at the leadership group compared to the rest of the squad, and then you're looking at the hierarchy, talking to players at Manchester United and gauging where they're actually at with their decision making. If the players are happy with Ruben, I can understand a bit of that conversation, but this surely can't be down to what the players think. Again, am I wrong in thinking this? Is this where we should be? Should we be speaking to players sooner so they don't down tools on managers like they have done in the past? This is like an open book conversation right now, because I have got my opinion, which I just look, like I said, that I'm all right with them talking to the players. Like, I think there should be an understanding, and the Wilcoxes of this world should be able to speak to the players at Manchester United. They need to understand if things are going wrong with Ruben Amorim. If there's something that they need to vent or speak about, then he's there. He's another option, because apparently Ruben Amorim isn't very easy to talk to. So I'm happy that they can speak to them. I just don't like that leadership group thing being brought into it. And I think that's where I'm at the moment. But Manchester United, from this story, are convinced that Ruben Amorim is the right man at the moment. And again, that strong word there is at the moment. That's the line to take from this. This still could change, and the inevitable outcome of poor results is going to get in the sack still. But I think the players being behind him is a good sign for Manchester United. I think the players being behind Ruben Amorim is good for Ruben to feel like he can get that connection with the players. And they have to start understanding how these managers work as well. These players have to get to grips with what the manager actually wants at Manchester United. It's not all about them. If you're not on board with what this man wants, then you're going to end up getting rid of another manager. It's as simple as that. We know this. We've seen this before. That's the old saying again, isn't it? We've seen this movie before, but it does feel a little bit different around Amorim than it has other managers at this sort of stage, like the inevitable scenario that we've spoken about the last few weeks. It does feel different, and the players do, from what I can feel, and you can always take talk is cheap as a big line going into this. The players may say that they are behind Ruben, they may say that they believe in Ruben and what he's actually doing and what he's trying to create, but at the end of the day, it comes down to what they do on the pitch. And Saturday, yes, again, one game, and it is Sunderland at home. You'd expect them to beat Sunderland at home, but still, United got a good performance out of that game, and it looked like the players understood what they needed to do. It's just frustrating that they don't when they go away from home. But look, in that game, you would say there was more of a togetherness than we've ever seen before for Manchester United. So I like the idea that they are behind Ruben Amorim. I think my whole point on this is, and I've probably been a bit selfish with my own opinion in this one here, is that I just don't like that hierarchy group of players. Like, why should they be above? Like, I understand they're mature players. I understand that they have probably got the right mentality. But I just think it creates an unnecessary divide within the squad. And there are players in there that I don't think are worthy of being in there either. I don't. Like, Dalot definitely doesn't deserve to be in there. I don't know why he's there. Like, he's professional, yes, but this is a man that has underperformed forever and a day. And if I'm one of the other squad members and I'm looking at that as the leadership for Manchester United going forward, I sound like Roy Keane now, don't I? Then I'm kicking up about it. I'm like, and you look at them players as well. You know them players are always going to play. It's like Ruben has already told us that them 5 players, Leacher, Mazraoui, Maguire, Bruno and Dalot, are always going to play when they're fit. That just looks like that, doesn't it, from the outside? I'm not saying it definitely is, but it just has that feel about it. It's that uneasiness that I don't like at all. But still, let's see how that develops, and let's see if after a bad defeat, which is probably still going to come in the coming weeks, as we know, and we said this morning, United will lose games. Let's see if they're as confident doing that and speaking like that after that. And let's see if the same sort of conversations go around as well. So, yeah, this is what we're looking at now. And I personally, I think we already knew that Ruben Amorim was going to be safe. I think there's just more and more stories coming out because, because we've got nothing else to talk about from the media sometimes. And Rob Dawson, again, bringing this story out, I feel he's trying to pick a story out of thin air. There are other journalists out here that are now bringing up other news tonight, which we're going to get through in a moment. But first of all, let's get into some of the comments section. Does anyone else, do you think I'm over the top with this leadership group thing? I just don't like the idea of it. But look, hey, you can shoot me down if you want. I might be wrong in this in your eyes. Let's give me your comments and let's go. I'll just stop it midway through there. Paula the Red says, hey Adam, have you and Sully been having a look at Seville's Lucien Agome midfield? We talked about it all summer, about Agome potentially being a Manchester United target. If you remember, I mentioned him during the transfer window when we could have got him for 8 million. Missed the chance. No, he was on the list and we did speak about him. And he was cheap then. I can't remember 8 million. You might have been in ahead of that, Paolo, before we spoke about it. But he came after the Carlos Baleba news. That's when he hit the mainstream, that story anyway. Players shouldn't have one... players shouldn't have one but of influence on what goes on whatsoever. This is a massive issue. I also think this is belittling the manager too. Do you feel on that one? Yeah. Do you feel like this is going behind Ruben's back a bit in speaking to the players and finding out what they think? I still can't make my mind up about that. You could easily think that way, couldn't you? I don't think that needs to be a leadership. I don't think there needs to be a leadership group. Captain and vice captain is all is used to be back in the day. Lamens is key on how we will play moving forward. His kicking accuracy, wow, says United Focus. Good points. Red Terry says, personally, I don't see the points in a leadership group. Isn't it the manager's job to lead? Yeah, are we giving too many people? Is it too many chefs in the kitchen sort of scenario where too many opinions, too many voices coming into what's right for Manchester United moving forward? If there is a God, Dalot will never play left back again unless it's left back in the changing room, says Nathan. Don't forget to tickle the like button, says the realist as well. Yes, please do hit that like button as well. Don't forget, scan the QR code on your screen for all of your replica, retro and up-to-date kits from Manchester United and all of the other clubs around European football. We'll drop some links in the live chat later on in the stream for you all as well. Before we finish up, don't worry about that, to give you your chance to get on that. More information coming up on Match Bingo as well, which you will also see popping up on your screen every so often. Too many cooks, says Daz, definitely. Mr. Anonymous says, you ever question yourself, am I living in a dream? My head's almost gone. Okay, nice one. It's difficult to legislate for a leadership group within such an underperforming side, Adam, who really stands out and demands 100% respect. Very, very true, Anthony. Great comments on that one. In an era of underperforming, inept performances from Manchester United, should we even be categorising people as leaders? These men should just stand up naturally and become a leader. That's how I've always known it. I might just be a dinosaur. I might just be a complete dinosaur and just feel like I'm completely out of touch. Maybe. Look, it is what it is, isn't it? On to other news. Anyway, let's move forward with this one. Mohamed Dabo, remember him? We talked about Orozco, who's already signed, the Colombian holding midfielder. Manchester United now looking at a Senegalese midfielder who's been on trial at Manchester United. We covered both at the time, but journalists played down the idea and the news that we were signing both Orozco and Dabo. Dabo wanted by Barcelona. but Manchester United seem to have already got their claws into him. Romano has been talking about this earlier on today. He has actually said Manchester United now are going through the next formal steps to make this a permanent deal to sign 17-year-old Mohamed Dabo, another midfielder for Manchester United. That would be two brought in on the under-18 level anyway for Manchester United right now. But this guy has been at United and trialling with Manchester United, so they know all about him. They have been very, very impressed with him through all of his games that he's played, practice games and training. So again, could be another signing, another here we go for Manchester United with everything that's going on right now within the transfer window that's coming up in January. We spoke about this before. Manchester United, and Romano even said the same thing today. They're looking for players for the first team, but they're also trying to mount an absolute world-beating under-18 side and a crop of players they can pick from going forward in the future. They want to be self-sufficient, basically. They want to be able to handpick their own academy players out to bring forward. We spoke about Jimmy Thwaites last night in detail. Obviously, we've got the likes of Kone and Chido we've brought in over. He's in the under-20 World Cup right now with Australia off. And now we're looking at Orozco and Dabo also coming through, all under the age of 18. And you could add Diego Leon to that as well, another playoff. And don't forget, the academy players are obviously a loophole in the PSR world. Financial fair play, don't forget that. That could come into the equation with all of these players as well, as we've reported before. But again, like we've said with what Romano said earlier on, United looking to build a very, very, very combative and capable academy where they can bring players through as they wean out the old guard and pretty much preparing for the future, what Romano was saying there. But it is interesting that Romano's come out with this story. Obviously, the transfer guru out of transfer season, finding stories like this, you'd expect Romano to do a little bit more homework and try and make a story of this, and this is what he has done today. So you can take this as a definite Manchester United are going for Dabo. They, from what we've read before, were very impressed. There were just stories coming out that he and Orozco were going to be signed, but that got played down by journalists at the time. I think Ben Jacobs was one of them, and a couple of others said this isn't happening. But, of course, you look at it now with Romano talking about it, it looks like United have continued talking, have got to that next stage, and have now started negotiations to make this another permanent signing for when Dabo does turn 18. Pretty much like everyone else that we sign at that age. Let's not forget, you've got Canabiak as well, that's come through to Manchester United. He's over at Lausanne, a French centre-forward that we bought from PSG. All of these players that Man United have brought in, they're hoping that there is going to be one of them that comes through. And like we said last night with Jimmy Thwaites, you add all of them to Manchester United's current crop, and then you've got a lot of players there that could actually break onto the scene, and you just don't know. You just don't know. There is always that chance. Always that chance. I've dropped the link to the replica shirts in the live chat for you all as well, everybody. So make sure you get over there and grab your shirts. Christmas is coming. Easy work for you all, actually. Get them shirts in cheap. Absolute dogs, taters. Great quality as well. Grab your shirts now over there. Use promo code ADAM. Get an extra 8% off as well on that, everybody. Hi Adam, what's the next step up? If you are too good for the under-21s, what level should the players be going? What should the players be going if they are loaned? If they're loaned out before breaking into the first team, this is where Manchester United have just employed Johnny Evans. Now, obviously Johnny Evans has got a job behind the scenes now, and he is in charge of loans, believe it or not. But having a football structure does help with the loans. A sporting director who knows what he's doing will know where to send these players on loan. So if you're at under 21 level and you're knocking on the door but there isn't enough room, you need to be loaned out to the right club. Case in point, Bristol City and Radak Vitek, our new goalkeeper. New deal signed, and away you go. Full year experience in the Championship. I think these players need to be going to the Championship. Getting experience at that level is key, I think, for anyone coming through into Manchester's first team. The constant games, the 40, 50 plus games a season, 2 games a week, Saturday, Tuesday, every single week in the Championship, playing at a very, very good level in intimidating atmospheres with some Premier League proven sides in there also. That is the perfect level that these players should be playing at. Keep them in England. Keep them in the nearest level that you possibly can. Try and find a club that has got a similar sort of style and attacking style that you want to mirror and loan that player to. It's like Manchester United sending out Harry Maas as a wing-back or as a full-back. I don't think that's too much of a problem. They're covering all of his wages, trying to help Sheffield Wednesday out. Like I said, Vitek, he's gone out on loan. There's a few other players that have gone out on loan for Manchester United's last crop of under-21s. Whether they make it or not, we will find out. But to answer that question, I think they do need to go out to the right loan club, definitely. And that's where Johnny Evans, Vivell, Wilcox will all step in and give them their marks, I feel, at Loan Shark. Gary, I like it. I do like it, mate. Right, so let's move on to other stories. There's quite a few tonight, so we'll get through as much as we possibly can, and then we'll bring in the comment section as well. Mainu wanted by several football clubs again, and there's plenty of stories on Mainu in the headlines today. You only have to search on social media and you'll see all of the Kobbie Mainu news. And Napoli again, this is another story that's come from a Sky Sports representative. Napoli remain in contact with Kobbie Mainu's camp with the potential loan move being explored for the January transfer window. The Italian side viewed the deal as an opportunity to give him the game time and aid his development, and are keen to finalise it swiftly. That again, Chelsea, Newcastle also interested in Kobbie Mainu. He is hot property because he's not playing. His wages are dirt cheap, and he is going to get that development time. If Ruben is still here in December, I don't see Kobbie Mainu surviving at Manchester United. I think United will make something happen in the window in terms of a midfielder, and Kobbie won't stand by and just be forgotten about. The Daily Mail this afternoon as well, alongside Kobbie Mainu, have ran the report again, like we've been speaking about for a while now, in Joshua Zirkzee. Joshua Zirkzee, frustrated that Manchester United seeks a January move to secure a spot in the Netherlands World Cup squad, having been omitted from Ronald Koeman's upcoming qualifiers against Malta and Finland. He also missed the last international break games as well. He's just not getting any minutes. And I've said this before, if this is the same, which there is no way or any way that I can see it not changing now, because we just don't have the games. It's like when you look at it, like October, we've got 3 games. That's it. Month over. Then you're into November, and you still got another international break to come. Then you're not going to play again, and then you've lost all 3 international breaks to try and prove to the coach that you are fit and able to go and compete in the USA for the World Cup in the summer, Canada and Mexico as well. You've missed your chance. You've got 1 more international break, which is March, and that's it. Mainu and Zirkzee are not going to play in the World Cup. I'm telling you this now. If Manchester United stand their ground in January, they might as well give up. There's no chance of playing in it. Look, they're both young, and they will get opportunities again going forward. But both Zirkzee and Mainu are out of the door in January, I feel, at the moment. If Ruben stays, that is. But look, be honest with yourself right now. There has been multiple opportunities for Mainu to start games, but Bruno's never going to be dropped. You look at Zirkzee, there's too many players ahead of him. Cunha dropped out of the side, and he can't get on the pitch. You Mason Mount's ahead of him, so too is Cunha and Mbeumo. Probably Ahmad. Probably Bruno Fernandes being pushed further forward ahead of Zirkzee in certain games as well. It's just not going to happen for the lad. And he needs to make a move in January. I could see Man United being forced into loaning these players out. But what do United do then if Mainu leaves? That's 3 fit central midfielders left for Manchester United. That's all we've got. Casemiro, who can't play 90 minutes. Bruno, who doesn't belong there. And Ugarte, who's proved he's just not good enough. That's it. So we would have to bring somebody in. So if Mainu does get his way, and the only reason I really want to talk about Mainu tonight is because it links with what we were talking about this morning about Manchester United definitely looking in January for another midfielder. I expect this news to escalate and go further and further we have been warning that as soon as December comes, you'll hear more about Mainu. His agency will keep on leaking news. We've talked about that agency before also. Kobbie Mainoo will not be at Manchester United come the end of the season. He'll be playing elsewhere. He'll come back in the summer, but he wants to be part of the World Cup. So does Zirkzee. And then players are going to be pushing for loan moves out of United. Zirkzee, I wouldn't put it past Manchester United selling him in January. That's how desperate his situation is. And don't forget, Manchester United could easily say, look, let's just take 30 million for Joshua Zirkzee and say goodbye. We know that Juventus are after him as well. We know there's other Italian clubs that are after Joshua Zirkzee. Manchester United could easily do a loan with obligation for the end of the season. And it's more money in the pot to go out and buy that midfielder you need, added to the Marcus Rashford and the Rasmus Højlund money also. There's so much to get through for Manchester United even into next summer. But it could all start to fall in place come January, I feel, as well. If Ruben's going to survive at United, Kobbie Mainoo's never going to play for United. I think he's made his mind up. It's clear to see he only thinks he can play in the midfield three, which he is never going to play. And then if you look further up the field, he's not going to play at number 10. He's just not going to get ahead of them players. He doesn't rate him. It's quite clear. And we're going to have this problem with Kobbie Mainoo come the January transfer window. We've heard and we did that show on him. He's the model pro. He's getting on with training. He's working harder. He's trying to even convince Ruben that he can play 6. But Ruben is not having it. He's definitely not going to play the next game either, is he, against Liverpool? Ruben's going to go with his tried and trusted. The only thing is with that, every single player going into that Liverpool game for midfield is going to be on international duty, and 2 of them are going to arrive back late in Agate and Casemiro. It's lucky we have got the Super Sunday fixture and we've got the extra day after international break, because them South American players coming back on the Wednesday/Thursday has always been a problem for United heading into the weekend after internationals. So going to be, I'm not saying Kobbie is completely done and dusted here. I just don't, looking at the body language of him and everything, it just doesn't look right for him. And Zirkzee, we don't even know body language because we don't see him anymore. He has to leave United. Give me your thoughts on this, everybody. Can you just see these players? Should they just be let go in January? Let them go out on loan. Should we just let go of Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee this January? Because they're just not going to feature. I think it's fair to say end of the line, is it not? Let's see what we've got in here in the chats. Zirkzee never been good enough. I said it months and months ago. He's nowhere near, I think is supposed to say there, the standard we need. United focus. I think Zirkzee is surplus to requirements, no matter who's in charge. In my opinion, both will be off in January. No question, Amorim definitely has a problem with Mainoo. Something is not right there. Yep, I kind of agree with everyone so far. Zirkzee has battled through difficulties at his time at United. Mainoo doesn't seem to want to battle. He doesn't play, so he can't really battle, can he? He's training, like we've said, behind the scenes. Mainoo is doing everything he can, according to the reports. So I don't know what else Kobbie Mainoo can do. Sometimes you just got to say, this manager doesn't rate you in his system. He doesn't rate you. He's not going to play you. And you have to own up and just hold your hands up and say, it's just not going to happen for me. Which is why I think he is actually holding on to see if he can get a move away. There is plenty of interest, and a loan move would be easy for Manchester United to make. But it depends if we can get anything for him. Can we get a loan fee to try and bump up the money? Talking of money, we're going to move on to other subjects as well in the transfer market in a moment. But I wanted to talk about first of all, the Saudi Arabia situation. If you don't know what I mean by this, you will look on social media. If you search up Manchester United in Saudi Arabia, you will see the news that Manchester United are giving serious consideration to going out to Saudi Arabia. Laurie Whitwell of The Athletic was reporting this late last week, I think it was. And the story is Manchester United could earn over 10 million if they agree to play in the Saudi Arabia this season. According to the industry sources, the club is exploring options to fill schedule gaps and address financial shortfalls by arranging mid-season friendlies with Saudi Arabia among the potential destinations. They could go and do open training in Saudi Arabia and earn money from it and do some big marketing ploy and put that out there. They could go and play Ronaldo's team, Al Nassr. Ronaldo would happily allow that to happen. It's crazy how we say Ronaldo would allow that to happen, but we do know that Ronaldo runs that bleeding club. And United would probably earn, if United did friendlies in between all of these games and they organised it properly, so every time everyone else is in Europe, United are away in Saudi Arabia, if United did this, they'd probably earn more money than being in the Europa League, which is scary when you think about it. If you said to United, right, when we're in Europe, we're going to schedule a midweek game against the Saudi team, or when we were supposed to be in Europe, that is. We're going to schedule it. Even if United just did 3 friendlies in the season, whether it was before January in the first half of the season or the second half from them months when other teams are playing in Europe, if United did that 3 times in a season, they could probably earn more money than they got for the entirety of what they did competing in the Europa League last season. Yes, the gate receipts won't be there, but in terms of prize money, Manchester United would earn just as much of that. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Honestly, we don't want to be out of Europe, but the marketing power of Manchester United could actually earn them more money not being in Europe. How stupid and ridiculous does that sound? But that's what United bring. If they planned it out and thought about this before, they could have been doing warm weather training and, well, it's probably an expense in getting the whole team over and they've got to put the logistics into this. But if they got a good sum, say for instance, they committed to 4 or 5 friendlies in between games when other teams were in Europe. And don't forget, the game weeks for European football are quite expensive. Like they're there, aren't they? Expensive. There's loads of them. If they did 4 or 5 and someone paid them 40 to 50 million, you think United would say no? They'd be all over it. And for one game, 10 million? That shows you how much Manchester United could make. And we got, 8 million for that little tour that we did of Asia at the back end of last season. I think we made about 10 again in the Premier League series over in America. Saudi's where the money is. It's crazy to think, but you look at what some of the money these boxers that shouldn't be earning that amount of money are earning going to Saudi and being on them cards. Same thing. Yeah, you're not in Europe. It doesn't matter to us. We'll pay you a fortune. And United will be all over this. I guarantee we end up playing in the Saudi against the Saudi Pro League team this season. There's no way that they don't make this happen. It's a perfect chance for them to earn a little bit of money. And again, the marketing opportunity over in Saudi for Manchester United to do this, quids in. Absolute quids in. There's no way that United will turn this opportunity down. Let's get some more comments in from everybody in the chat. First of all, super chat in from Sean. Thank you, Sean. Says, I don't blame Ruben if he's a bit removed. Then players can't throw him under the bus. Like the past, it shows commitment. Cream rises to the top. Look, in terms of what Ruben's doing and how he's operating at Manchester United, to answer that one, Sean, there, Shane, sorry, not Sean, Shane. Look, every manager has his way, and not every single squad member is going to like it. But that's part of being in a massive football club. And this is what Wayne Rooney was saying before. Like, you're going to get criticism from critics. You work for Manchester United. You play for Manchester United. The history of this football club says that you're going to get criticised more than anybody else. Deal with the criticism. Deal with not being on the pitch all of the time. Deal with being a Manchester United player. Once, and I can see what Ruben's trying to do with that. Once them players get to grips with that, then you're looking at a real combative team, aren't you? You're looking at a team that understands where they are in the pecking order, where they are when it comes to actually featuring in this team. You're never always going to be straight in that starting 11, unless you're Bruno Fernandes. But it's different these days to what it used to be. And that's the only argument I've got against the likes of Scholes, Bortz, Rio, Neville, Rooney, these players that are talking. They're talking what it used to be like. Football's completely changed, but still, understand where you are and understand that this is Manchester United. You're never going to be guaranteed a place in the side. If you go in with that mindset and you fight for your place, you will survive. You will be a Scott McTominay. You will be there forever and a day. Harry Maguire never kicked off. As much as we don't like Harry Maguire, or some people don't, to the certain extent that they do, he still has the mentality of a Manchester United player. He knows where he is. And this is probably why he's in that stupid leadership group. You know what I mean? That's it. 5 gifted memberships in the live chat from London. What an absolute legend. Cheers for that, my man. Really appreciate that. Make sure that you do thank London in the chat if you have been gifted one of their memberships, please. Again, I can see plenty of people in there getting them. Put your big thank yous in, everyone. Anybody up for a trip to Saudi? Watch United? Mid-season friendly? Feels weird saying mid-season friendly, doesn't it? We still have to play that Benjamin Sesko friendly, don't we, for RB Leipzig as well? That one's still got to come around yet. So, yeah, there's still quite a bit to do for Manchester United in terms of games, I feel, and the opportunities there. Hi, Adam. If Ruben's former team, Sporting, were in the Premier League, where do you think they would finish, or their equivalent team, or are they Championship level? No, they're not Championship level. They've got some quality players in there. But it depends if you're talking about Ruben Amorim's team from last season, because obviously Gyökeres is not there anymore. But I reckon they're a top 6 side, Sporting, from last season anyway, in the Premier League. I do think that they could be a top 6 side. That's tops. That's overachieving, because I don't think there's teams. It's like Ruben said it himself, actually. He explained, like, playing in the Premier League is completely different to anything else. When you play the Premier League team in the Champions League, they play differently. They play a completely different way when it's just a Premier League game. So I don't think Sporting would survive in the Premier League competing where they are in Portugal. I think their max would be a top 6. And they'd have to really go some to get that. But the players they've got there, I think they would. Or the players they did have there would have. Playing games in Saudi is a no-brainer. We'll keep the team fit and be able to create more rhythm. It's tough when you are only playing 1 game per week. Also, we'll be making a lot of money, which is a bonus. That's what United will be thinking. Could we see a Mainu and a Xerxes in a mid-season friendly in Saudi? That's been talked about. Could well be. All right, moving on. Again, more stories to get through quickly. There is, I think it was Alex Crook from TalkSport was talking again about Harry Maguire potentially taking a big-ass pay cut to stay at Manchester United. We spoke last night. The Mirror were reporting that United are not going to give Harry Maguire a new contract. It's not on the cards, and he's going to be leaving at the end of the season. That's what was reported last night. Tonight, we're hearing from Alex Crook, and he's saying that he might be open, and United might be open for giving him a cut price contract and keeping him at Manchester United. I don't want that to happen. You all know my thoughts on Maguire. Thank you. 6 years. Done your job. See you later. Some would say he's not done his job, but we cannot be renewing Harry Maguire right now. We need to be bringing in fresh blood into the Manchester United side. Just let go of what was, please, United. Just let go of it. He also talked about Anton Semenyo still being on Manchester United's radar. I don't see how he fits in the side. I really don't. You could argue a wing-back if you wanted to at a push, but is Semenyo going to get into Manchester United's side when Mbeumo and Cunha are there? I don't see it. Does anyone see Semenyo coming into Manchester United? By the way, Bournemouth quite rightly are pricing him at 75 million plus now. That is their price for Semenyo. He's up there with leading goal scorers this season. I think there's only Haaland ahead of him this season so far. He's had a fantastic season. So, yeah. Thank you for that super sticker, Glock. Appreciate that, buddy. From an Arsenal fan as well. I don't know if he's taking the mick there or feeling sorry for us, but yes. Nathan says, putting a traffic cone at centre-back would be a viable replacement for Maguire. It's a bit harsh. Corey says, I hear that you are taking us all to Saudi when you hit 250k subs. Adam, sounds good. We've got to get there. So, yep, hit that subscribe button and we might get to Saudi. I'll take you all there if we get to 250,000. Select few anyway. But, yeah. I can't see it not happening. Just on the Saudi news, I think it'll definitely happen. Semenyo, anybody? Harry Maguire? Keep Harry Maguire? So no from me. 100% can't see Manchester United going for this. Not Ineos anyway. But then Alex Crook did say that even with Ineos in situ, that it would have to be a very, very cut price offer for Harry Maguire to stay at Manchester United. With the way that they're cutting the wage bill and cutting costs at Manchester United, there is no chance that Harry Maguire is going to get anywhere near what he wants at the football club. Nowhere near what he's on right now anyway. Talking of cutting corners, did you see the story earlier on from Laurie Whitwell about Manchester United and the academy set up at the football club and what was going on? Cutting corners to the extreme has caused Manchester United no end of problems and no end of problems within the academy to a point where you're looking at Manchester United now, and this is the story. I'm just going to read it out now for you all. Laurie Whitwell, first of all, bear with me a second, let me get to the right point here. But just to break it down, Manchester United have plans to construct a new academy facility at Carrington designed to match the quality and style of the first team setup, with the project advancing under new academy director Stephen Torpey. Manchester United plan to develop state-of-the-art academy complex within the coming years. The plans are in place to mirror what the first team have got, which would be great, which would be definitely fitting of Manchester United's academy. The first team have got theirs. The women have got their own setup. The academy do have a setup, but it's going to be nothing compared to what's happening at Carrington right now and what United have got there for the first team. It is a completely different world, Carrington, now. So when you look at that, I think that's only fitting. But he also went into stories about the cost-cutting measures that Manchester United have gone through with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, to a point where Ruben and his staff now have to wash their own tracksuits. Heaven forbid. It does seem a little bit extreme, though, like you are Manchester United and your staff members have to wash their own clothes. Surely within that training facility, Carrington, there is a few washing machines. There could do a bit of laundry, maybe. Are we cutting that many corners that we don't have it right now? Some people have said that staff shortages at Carrington have left to rubbish and machinery being left out, no one taking charge of certain situations, a bit of litter flying around the place. This could be a bit extreme, and someone really might have a bit of an issue with something going on at Manchester United, not be happy with something and then just lashing out and reporting this out to the media. But it got to a point as well where there was one other situation that occurred where Everton under-13s arrived at Carrington to play Manchester United. And this was Laurie Whitwell who was saying this. And Manchester United, whether it was an oversight or a staff member not being there, didn't have enough socks to give their under-13 players and had to borrow from Everton, who were playing at Carrington. And that story is doing the rounds as well on social media. And what you're looking at there, effectively, is Manchester United wearing the Everton crest while playing and representing Manchester United at Carrington against Everton. That happened, according to Laurie Whitwell, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's embarrassing. By the way, just on the Ruben thing, might have got it wrong. Just have to double check on that story regarding Ruben washing his clothes. It might have been the other members of staff, but everyone but Ruben Amorim and his coaching staff, I think, have to wash their own clothes. So I might have got that mixed up there as well, everybody. But yeah, just so you know, like the cost cutting continues. But it is leaving Manchester United short in other areas, as reports have coming out as well. But that one with the under-13s having to wear Everton's socks, I mean, come on, seriously. That's going a bit too far. It's going a bit too far, isn't it? Top story, again, just to keep you recapped on anyone who's just joining us right now. We have got a story breaking, it's not breaking as such, but ESPN's Rob Dawson reporting that Manchester United's hierarchy have spoken with players as well as other staff members around the Ruben Amorim situation. Nothing organised and nothing set and organised and meetings made up or anything like that. Didn't sound them out or anything like that. But they just in passing, they've got the remarks from a few players from the leadership group that United have got, and they are completely happy and right behind Ruben Amorim. And there is no concerns at Carrington at all within what's going on. Manchester United's bosses are happy with how the players are and how they're responding to Ruben. And everybody seems to be on this same page going forward. So let's see if that continues. Gary Wright says in the comments section, Adam and Kaz, thanks for the evening show and the family training in the morning. Have a nice evening. Bye from Germany. Goodbye, Gary. Have a great night, mate. Adam, whose owner's club system needs upgrade year on year, and whose owner's club? Owen's club. I don't know what that means, Joseph. Sorry, mate. Come back to me, buddy, on that one. Let's see. I got free socks from OK Jersey, says Rodders. Yeah, you do. Click on that link and get some free socks and extra gifts when you do make some orders as well, everyone. Also, don't forget, we have got our Match Bingo special, which is continuing going forward, and it's even going to be past October, everybody, as well now. A new deal set up by Match Bingo for us all here on FUTV. Get your 100% deposit bonus now. So if you deposit £10 into your account on Match Bingo, it will be doubled instantly if you use promo code FUTV. I want to try and get as many winners here on FUTV as I can before this year finishes. We have got in prize money won already in the last couple of months, and this has been told to me by Match Bingo, over £1,000 worth of match winning FUTV users already on Match Bingo. Get your cards now. We'll drop the link in the live chat and then pin it up. We'll do it right now, actually, so everybody's got it. Use the promo code FUTV, all caps, when depositing £10. Minimum deposit is £10 now. Put that in and put in promo code FUTV and double it up. 100% booster on your deposits now, everybody, on Match Bingo. Get in there now. We've had so many winners so far. Let's try and get that up before Christmas, everybody. That is my mission, to get as many winners as we possibly can. And there is some of them in the chat there right now already. Over £1,000 in the last 2 months won on Match Bingo by FUTV users. Get in there now and get that code used, everybody. Is it 700 for Gems now that she's won? Jeez. Honestly, go speak to Gems, the mod in the chat, everybody, if you want to make a win on Match Bingo. She's got 700 quid. That's her on her own. She's got some charm going on there. There's a lucky charm in there, surely. Wow, I didn't know she was at 700 now. That's mental. But good on you, Gems. Keep winning. That's all I keep saying. Keep on winning. Right, let's get some more comments in, everybody. Your chance to have your say. By the way, anybody looking for the calling show on Big Up, we're going to be doing a couple this weekend. There's going to be one that's going to be coming in. I think I'm going to do it on Thursday evening. And then we're going to do it on the weekend as well. So we might do one. No, actually, we can't do it on Thursday because we're covering the England game. I'll let you know. It's going to be this weekend anyway. But yes, a bit of a gap while it's international break. But we'll do a calling show on the weekend as well. Maybe even Sunday. We will see. We will see what we're doing there anyway. But yeah, that is it for tonight, everybody. Thank you so much. You are completely up to date with everything. Give me your thoughts on everything going on. Get into the comment section, everybody. Manchester United's hierarchy, looking to the players and getting the backing giving the backing for Ruben Amorim and him staying. Everyone's happy at United right now. Manchester United may have to let go of Joshua Zirkzee and Kobbie Mainoo this January. Both players pushing for loan moves out of the club through lack of game time. Understandable. Here we go, on its way possibly for another 17-year-old Mohamed Dabo, another midfielder from Senegal. Romano reporting that earlier on. United still checking out on Antoine Semenyo. Harry Maguire's new cut price contract. Manchester United earning $10 million for one game in Saudi. Is that on the cards as well? And United also ready to build a brand new state-of-the-art academy training complex at Carrington to match up to the first team. Give me your thoughts on all of them topics and all of them stories, everybody. Thank you for staying with us and watching Forever United TV this evening. Make sure you pop your likes on the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button that's up there as well. And also get onto your match bingos to get your winnings. And also into that description for your OK jerseys and replica kits throughout. Get your Christmas stocking filled already. That's it for now, everybody. Thank you. I'll see you all first thing in the morning, 8 o'clock sharp, people.